The rain tapped against the leaded glass of the Georgian townhouse like a quiet, persistent knock, the kind that doesn't beg to be let in, but reminds you it's still there. Inside, the air smelled of beeswax polish, old books, and the faintest trace of Earl Grey left cooling in a porcelain cup. It was 8:47 p.m. in Bath. The kind of evening where the world outside felt muffled, safe, and everything inside was about to shatter. Maya, 20 years old, stood in the center of the living room, her white linen top crisp against the dim glow of the floor lamp, her charcoal trousers neatly pressed, the uniform of someone trying to look professional, even when she was anything but. She'd just come home from her part-time job at the cafe, still smelling faintly of espresso and cinnamon, when her mother, Eleanor, called her name. Not sharply, not angrily, just quietly. "Maya, come here." Eleanor sat on the Chesterfield sofa, back straight, her navy wool cardigan draped over her shoulders like armor. Her pearls were perfectly aligned, her expression unreadable. In her hand, Maya's phone. Maya's stomach dropped. She knew. She'd thought the video was funny. She'd thought her friends would laugh. She'd thought no one would ever find out. But Mrs. Whitmore had called. And now, Eleanor was holding the proof. She pressed play. The screen lit up, grainy, poorly framed, but unmistakable. There was Mrs. Whitmore, sitting in her own drawing room, speaking candidly to Maya during a private design consultation. "I'd rather clean the loo than sit through another of your consultations," she said, voice warm, tyrannist. And then, cut with a laugh track Maya had added. From a YouTube clip, followed by a sped-up, cartoonish voiceover. "Ooh, look who's here. The design fairy with the magic tape measure." Maya's breath hitched. Eleanor didn't move, didn't blink. The video ended. The silence stretched like taut wire. "You sent this," Eleanor said finally, "to your friends." Maya opened her mouth. Closed it. "It was just a joke, Mum. No one took it seriously." "Mrs. Whitmore took it seriously enough to call me. She said she'd been considering recommending us to her book club. Now she says she'll tell them never to hire a firm that treats its clients like punchlines." Maya's cheeks burned. It was only one person. One person who trusted us with her home, her memories, her grief. Her husband died last year, Maya. She hired us because she needed someone who would listen, not mock. Maya looked away. "I didn't know. You didn't care." Eleanor stood, walked slowly to the hall closet, opened it, reached in, pulled out a slender, polished wooden paddle, smooth from years of use, dark with age and oil. The same one she'd used on Maya when she was 14. After lying about failing her GCSEs. The same one Maya had thought was forgotten. Maya's eyes widened. "You're not serious." "I'm more serious than I've ever been." She placed the paddle on the coffee table. Then she sat again. "Take off your trousers." Maya froze. "What? Your trousers? Now?" "I'm not a child." "No," Eleanor said, voice quiet as falling snow. "You're 20. And you've just acted like someone who's never been taught what responsibility means." Maya's hands trembled. She looked at the paddle. At her mother's face, not cruel. Not vindictive. Just broken. She turned her back. Slowly, carefully, she unbuttoned her trousers. Slid them down. Folded them neatly over the back of a chair. She stood in her white top and lace-trimmed underwear. The chill of the room raising goosebumps on her skin. She didn't cry. "Not yet." "Over the sofa," Eleanor said. Maya bent forward, arm. The wood of the paddle pressed against her bare thighs. Cool, heavy, final. The first stroke landed with a sharp crack. Maya gasped. Her fingers dug into the cushion. The second came slower. Deliberate. "This," Eleanor said, "is for stealing her voice." The third harder. "This is for turning her vulnerability into entertainment." Maya bit her lip until she tasted blood. The fourth, a pause. A breath. "This is for thinking your jokes were more important than someone else's dignity." The fifth, the final one, landed with a sound that echoed through the quiet house like a bell tolling. Maya didn't scream. She didn't sob. She simply trembled, small, shivering, utterly still. Eleanor set the paddle down. Stand up. Maya pulled her trousers on slowly. Her hands shook. Her vision blurred. She walked to the window, stared out at the rain-slicked garden, at the old rose bushes Eleanor had planted the year Maya's father died. The same year she learned to keep her secrets. I thought it was harmless, she whispered. Eleanor joined her. Didn't touch her. Didn't hug her. Just stood beside her, shoulder nearly brushing. It wasn't harmless, she said. It was theft. You stole her trust. You stole her privacy. You stole her right to be seen as human. And you turned her into a punchline for people who don't know her name. Maya turned. Her face was wet. Her eyes red. I'm sorry, she said, voice cracking. Not because I got caught. Not because you're angry. But because I didn't see her. Not really. I just saw a client. A name on a file. I didn't see the woman who cried when she showed me her husband's favorite armchair. Eleanor closed her eyes. One tear escaped. She didn't wipe it away. I know, she said softly. And that's why you're going to make it right. The next morning, Maya stood on the doorstep of Mrs. Whitmore's cottage in Bath's historic North Parade. She wore the same white top, the same charcoal trousers. No makeup, no esmail. Just a letter, handwritten on thick cream paper, folded neatly in her hands. She rang the bell. Mrs. Whitmore opened the door. Her eyes were kind, but tired. Maya didn't speak at first, just held out the letter. Mrs. Whitmore read it. Dear Mrs. Whitmore, I am so deeply sorry for what I did. I recorded your words without permission and turned them into something cruel. Something you never deserved. I thought it was funny. I was wrong. I didn't understand what you'd been through. I didn't see you. I am not asking for forgiveness. I am asking for the chance to earn it. I would like to redesign your study, free of charge, to make it the sanctuary you deserve. And I will donate the fee I would have earned to the Bereavement Support Network in your name. You trusted me. I betrayed that. I will spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of trust again. With sincere regret, Maya Ellis. Mrs. Whitmore looked up. Her eyes were wet. You're Eleanor's daughter, she said. Maya nodded. She raised you right, Mrs. Whitmore said. Then she opened her arms. Maya collapsed into them. She didn't cry. Not then. Not until she was back in the car, driving home, gripping the steering wheel so hard her knuckles turned white. 2 weeks passed. The study was finished. Soft greens, warm oak, a leather chair that fit Mrs. Whitmore's posture perfectly. A framed photo of her late husband sat on the desk, the one Maya had insisted on placing where she could see it every morning. The donation was made. Mrs. Whitmore wrote a letter to the local design magazine, not about the renovation, but about the girl who apologized. Maya didn't tell her mother. She didn't need to. One evening, as the sun dipped low over the Cotswolds, casting golden light through the bay window, Maya sat across from Eleanor at the dining table. The laptop was open. A client's mood board glowed on the screen. Maya was pointing to a fabric swatch. I think this linen would echo the morning light, she said, voice calm, steady. Eleanor glanced at her. Not with suspicion. Not with disappointment. With pride. She poured 2 cups of Earl Grey, one for herself, one for Maya, and slid the second across the table. Maya picked it up. Inhaled the scent. The steam curled like a quiet breath. They didn't speak for a long time. Outside, the rain had stopped. The garden glistened. Somewhere, à bord sans. Eleanor reached into the drawer beside her, pulled out the wooden paddle. Maya didn't flinch. Eleanor placed it gently on the table between them. Not hidden. Not discarded. Just there. A reminder. Not of pain. Of purpose. Maya looked at it. Then at her mother. And for the first time in months she smiled. Not because she'd been forgiven, but because she'd chosen to be better. The next morning, Maya woke early. She walked to the drawer, took the paddle in her hands, ran her fingers over the smooth oiled wood, remembered the sound, the shame, the silence, the tears. She didn't put it away. She carried it downstairs, placed it on the kitchen counter, next to the kettle, next to the tea, a quiet monument to trust, to consequences, to the cost of being careless, and to the quiet, stubborn grace of being given a second chance. She filled the kettle, lit the stove, and waited for the steam to rise, for the silence to speak, for the day to begin. Not as a girl who made jokes, but as a woman who understood what it meant to be trusted.